Hello everyone and welcome back to Invincible Guarding the Globe, and today a big update is here for version 3.4. So in today's video I will be going over all of the details with the new update and giving you all of the insights you need to know what has changed and what is new, as well as giving you the reward code for 500 gems at the end of the video. So if you do enjoy today's video, then feel free to leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Again, I appreciate all of the support in the previous videos. I say it every time and I mean it every time. You guys are awesome. And yeah, without further ado, let's just get straight into it. So there's a big new update that's sort of seemingly dropped out of nowhere. I mean, they usually do have a sort of schedule to these things, but there wasn't any sort of notification for it rather in advance. It just came. So 3.4 is here, and with it there are a host of new changes. And yeah, let's have a look at it. So firstly, new content. A new feature will be releasing soon, and this is very interesting as we haven't had really a new feature like this in a while. If we have a look now here, and this actually kind of leads on to one of the next bits, there's a new social hub in the bottom right here of the menu, and as you can see there is a classified coming soon option here. And I think there's a thing in the events. Let's have a look. Yeah, coming soon, as of time of recording, 1 week 5 days. So we can expect obviously something to be coming up. I don't know what it is right now. Obviously it's exciting, something new coming out. If I was to guess from the description here, where it says something massive just appeared on our radar, I don't have all the answers yet, but I've seen enough to know this could turn into a disaster fast. Stay sharp, I'll brief you at the moment we confirm the nature of the new threat, Director Cecil Stedman. So what I imagine this might be is a feature that fans have been asking for a while, where maybe it's some sort of like mega boss type event, where in the show and in the comics there's often these like Goliath kaiju type creatures where, you know, you see it in season 1 for example, where Omni-Man's fighting them and it's this big massive creature. And I imagine that this, for me, when they say something massive just appeared on the radar, I have a feeling it'll be some sort of event where, or game mode where you can potentially hopefully play with your friends, maybe an alliance, and fight against a big raid boss almost, which would be really fun if they can do it well. Again, that's just speculation, but that's my guess here. I guess we'll find out when it arrives. So firstly, that is extremely exciting. Second of all, new hero releasing soon. Doesn't say when, but yeah, could be, you know, usually it's on Fridays, so I would imagine it would be next week would be the new hero release. But again, it's difficult to say right now in terms of exactly when it is because it doesn't say here. And then obviously I've shown you, I guess already, there's a new social hub. It's basically a new menu where all of the social features in the game are grouped. It includes alliances, Hall of Fame, friends, and alliance warfare. So in the bottom right, as you can see, obviously you've got more content coming soon here, the new event / game mode coming up. You then obviously got alliances, Hall of Fame, friends, and alliance warfare. So if you go to game hub, you've now not got the alliance warfare in here. So if you are wondering where it's gone, it's in the new social hub. So that's quite fun, just a nice sort of quality of life feature there. Now what's interesting here are some new content to play through. So firstly, there are new GDA case files, and these now aren't for specific heroes like they have been previously, but rather interesting and quite fun actually. They are for the TV seasons, the show seasons. So if we go to GDA case files, obviously we can see, you know, you've got the ones for your heroes here, but there's now an option at the bottom right for TV show, and currently there's season 1 and season 2, and obviously more files coming soon. So I imagine obviously we'll be getting 3 and 4, and then when season 5 releases next year, I imagine they'll probably by that point be releasing the you know, the case files alongside it, which is fun. So it kind of basically allows you to play through the show seasons, obviously following alongside the comics, and this is quite fun. The first season I would say is pretty easy. Obviously it's the first season, and yeah, it's quite cool because obviously, you know, we've got pretty much all of the characters in the game by now, at least most of them that have at least shown up in the season so far. So obviously you can play as the characters against the characters, and it's even got the same sort of voice lines, and you can even obviously recreate the Omni-Man versus Invincible finale, which is obviously fun. Then obviously season 2 is also out. Now the only thing I would say with this, and this has annoyed me greatly, is I've played this game for some time. I have quite high level heroes. I'm obviously not the highest in the game by any means, but I obviously do have quite some strong heroes, as you can see here. And with this case files for season 2, what's it, 45, stage 45, it's the bit where the Lizard League attack the US Pentagon, I think it is, and obviously these heroes here are there to stop it, because Invincible and that are away fighting the Sequids at this part of the season. Now, what's annoying is obviously throughout season 1 and 2 of the GDA case files, there's a level requirement, and it slowly, goes up. So season 1, I think the highest is like 660, which is Omnipotent Plus. So as long as you have an Omnipotent Plus, I think Omni-Man or Invincible, then you should be fine. But with this, you need level 800, and then either Rexplode, Duplicate, or Shrinking Ray. Now the problem with this is that Rexplode and Duplicate are both rare characters and not epic. Is it epic? Whatever it is. Yeah, elite, sorry. And yes, they do have case files for themselves, so you may have them built up. As you can see, I do have an Omnipotent Plus Rexplode, but you need a level 800 of one of these. Now, granted, Shrinking Ray is a elite hero, however, she isn't very good, and most people won't have her leveled up. So it is quite fun, because it does obviously mean you have to level up your heroes to be able to use it, but it's also quite frustrating that it's such a high level for heroes that most people, I would say, haven't leveled up. So that's one thing that is slightly frustrating. And following on from that, on the same note, there's a new campaign chapter, which is great, and obviously you can see that here in the main menu. But again, they have slightly put a hindrance here. Now, if you are new to the game, you might probably not be at this stage in the game yet. Obviously, there's quite a few seasons. This is obviously season 3, chapter 2 that has been released. And for the first part, it will force you to use the criminal faction, which, fair enough, most people, it's maybe not their highest leveled heroes within the faction. Last time, obviously, they did the GDA heroes. But criminal faction, mine aren't by any means too crazy, but they're pretty decent, and I was just fine. I breezed pretty much straight through it. And the rewards have been fantastic. I mean, 4 million XP per has really helped, which is nice. But at this stage here, it requires you to use heroes from the Order. Now, the Order depends, obviously, if you've leveled them up yourselves, but again, it's not a large pool of heroes. Titan probably being the most common, and mine obviously isn't that high here. Multiple does have a case file, but again, he's a rare hero and not that strong. Machine Head was pretty much new, kind of new-ish, I guess, but I personally don't think he's that good, so I haven't invested in him. And then the others are rare heroes in Magmaniac and Kursk. Now, as you can see at the top, my team power is 11 million, but the enemies is 308 million. So to get past this level now, I basically need to level up some of my Order characters just to progress on this, which is quite frustrating. I mean, yes, there's, for example, case files on them, which is helpful, but yeah, it is just quite frustrating that it's limiting you again. Criminal faction, fair enough, and GDA faction, I guess, fair enough, but the Order is such a niche sub-faction that it is a little bit annoying that they've done this, but I can see why. They don't want you just to breeze all the way straight to the end and then have to wait for the new one. They want you to sort of work for it in a way, so I guess it's fair enough, but it is a little bit frustrating, but it is what it is. Then there are some new items to the game. There are new artifacts and new totems, so we can have a look at those just now. So for the new artifacts, there are 3 new artifacts, and those are the GDA Behavioral Suppressant, GDA Synapse Breaker, and Coalition of Planets badge. So firstly, the GDA Behavioral Suppressant. This is an artifact that boosts HP, defense, and energy attack, and what it does is this behavioral suppressant reduces a random enemy's attack by 10% and their defense by 15% for 5 seconds. It also triggers at the start of the battle and has a cooldown of 10 seconds. So nothing too crazy, but a nice debuff and can work well Yeah, it can work well, against teams, especially against if high level enemies, but obviously it is against a random enemy. It does trigger quite often, every 10 seconds is quite quickly, so a nice debuff every 10 seconds is welcome, and at the start of the battle is pretty good as well, but it's nothing game breaking, but I think it can be useful. I would say it's maybe a B tier, I would say. I guess I haven't tried it out yet, but from the looks of it, it looks to be pretty decent there. The next is the GDA Synapse Breaker, and this artifact boosts HP defense and physical defense. And this artifact, when the wielder receives a critical hit, it triggers, converting 300% of the damage taken into electric damage, which is dealt to the attacker over 5 seconds while dispelling 1 debuff from them. Now, obviously, with these artifacts, again, you can level them up, and the percentages in, or the numbers in yellow increase. This also has a cooldown of 8 seconds, so again, a low cooldown. Receives a critical hit. Obviously, most heroes will probably be receiving critical hits quite often, so it will be triggering very often, I imagine, probably as soon as the cooldown comes off. You definitely want it on someone that is a melee hero, not a ranged hero, because you want them to be, receiving the critical hits. Yeah, it looks to be pretty good. I mean, 300% is a pretty large amount of damage, but obviously it's over 5 seconds, which is a long time, so it's not like instant damage. 1 debuff from the enemy is pretty decent, but again, I don't think it's anything too groundbreaking, but a decent artifact all the same, and I think it can be useful in some instances. The last artifact to be added is the Coalition of Planets badge. Now this boosts attack, energy attack, and physical attack, so this is definitely for an attacker. This badge grants the wielder the Coalition of Planets tag, which is very good. Additionally, every 10 seconds the wielder gains a 3% critical damage boost for every other living Coalition of Planets ally, and it can stack up to 10 stacks. So what this means is, firstly, obviously it gives them the tag, so if a hero isn't part of the Coalition of Planets, then they get the tag. If we obviously have a look at that faction, sub-faction now, that's the wrong one, where it used to be at the bottom. They've made it alphabetical, that helps. So as you can see, it's got definitely some of the strongest heroes in the game, which is nice, and so you can basically, if you have a team of these heroes, you can have another hero in it. One that comes to mind that would work very well and is very strong, obviously, is Thrag. So you could have Thrag in there, and he would get the same buffs that any Coalition of Planets members get, and every 10 seconds, 3% for every other living planet's allies. So, for example, if you obviously have 4 other allies, if they obviously stay alive, that is, every 10 seconds, 4 times 3, quick math, 12% critical damage boost, which is pretty decent, and obviously it's still triggering every 10 seconds for a maximum of 10 stacks. So I would say this is a very strong artifact, especially obviously if you have a Coalition of Planets team. So yeah, this artifact is very good and would be very good to get for any account, I would say. Absolutely, it'll be very interesting to see how it plays out. Next up are the new totems, and there are 4 of them. Now these currently aren't available to acquire, however the totem pass obviously is ending soon, and when this ends I imagine there'll be a new totem pass that is, to then obviously acquire the new ones there. But if we have a look at them here, the first one is for Armored Atom Eve, and it's the Matter Atom. Firstly, it boosts her defense. Obviously she's a defender, but this artifact, this totem rather, actually sort of turns her into the healer / support that her regular version is, and she still obviously is a defender with all the amazing skills and fantastic abilities she already has. So if we have a look at it here, Atom Eve summons an atom above her that remains on the battlefield for 10 seconds, firing a healing projectile every second at the ally with the lowest HP. Each heal is equal to 20% of Atom Eve's defense and has a cooldown of 20 seconds. So every 20 seconds, for 10 seconds, every second, it will heal the ally with the lowest HP, which means basically 10 amounts of healing for 20% of her defense, which it's difficult to say, as I said, I haven't used it, but just looking at it on paper, that is very strong. And yeah, I don't know if it's game breaking, but it really helps keep her team alive. And not only is she great already as a defender, but giving herself a healing option means that, yeah, she's a force to be reckoned with. So that is a great totem. The next one we have here is the frozen pizza, and this is for Shapesmith. Now this one is quite interesting, and the description is so long that you can kind of scroll through it almost. So I'll break it down here for you. It boosts HP, and what happens is when an ally's HP drops below 50%, Shapesmith throws them a slice of frozen pizza, refreshing the target and creating an icy blast that damages adjacent enemies. Now, this is quite confusing because you're like, okay, what does that actually mean? It then tells you then afterwards, which is a bit confusing. So basically, when an ally's HP drops below 50%, the ally gains 10% increased healing received for 10 seconds, and then the enemies hit take damage equal to 280% of Shapesmith's defense and are stunned for 3 seconds, and this can be used up to 2 times per battle, and it's a cooldown of 13 seconds. So I would say this is pretty good. Again, it is limited to 2 times per battle. The stun for 3 seconds is very fun and very good, and Shapesmith is already good at disrupting the enemies, but a stun is also very good. And the healing received is good, and the damage is probably not that much. So the main thing is the healing increase, and the stun is probably the main thing. So a very strong totem for an already strong hero, I would say. The next is for King Lizard, and it's the Queen Lizard's Mask. This boosts the hero's attack, and basically what it does is when a non-summoned enemy dies, King Lizard summons a Lizard League soldier with 60% of his stats. He can have up to 2 summoned Lizard League soldiers active at the same time. So yeah, as it says, when a non-summoned enemy dies, so for example, if their Krieg summons a Viltrumite and that Viltrumite dies, that doesn't count. But one of the starting 5 basically of the heroes of the enemy team, one of them dies, he summons a Lizard League soldier with 60% of his stats, and he can have 2 active at one time. This probably isn't that strong. I mean, the soldiers don't do very much. They're probably more just sort of a distraction / cannon fodder. They aren't melee from my knowledge. Yeah, they use guns, so they're not very useful in terms of like the Magnum Knights obviously will go up to the enemies and distract them. These will stay back, but a decent totem, but I don't think it's anything too crazy unless obviously there's some other synergies there that I haven't thought about yet, in which case obviously it can be very strong. The next one is the Viltrum Empire Medal, and this is for Anissa. Now, Anissa is obviously one of the best heroes in the game, maybe not as great in destroying of enemy teams as she used to be. She still is great mainly because of her passive, but this totem boosts her attack, and what it does is if Anissa's target is bleeding, her basic attack damage is increased by 5%, and the target's critical chance is reduced by 10% for 3 seconds. So if the target, as it says, is bleeding, the one she is fighting, then she basically does more damage and the enemy does less critical chance, which is nice. Now, if we have a look at Anissa, her blast through ability does actually apply a bleeding effect. So when she blasts through the enemy, she can then obviously deal even more damage to them after that. So that's probably where you'll mainly see this. The rest of her kit doesn't really apply any bleeding damage, but her blast through ability does. And if you pair her up with heroes, for example, like Battle Beast that deal bleeding damage, then obviously she will do much more damage against them. So a pretty strong totem. I don't think it's anything that game breaking, but it's definitely strong, and if you use it in the right team and you level up her 3rd skill, then it can definitely give her an extra damage boost, which is very strong, definitely. There's been a few balancing changes as well, and those come in the form of her Battle Beast. We have a look here. Worthy Opponent, which is the 4th ability here, starting from level 5, as you can see, Battle Beast now always targets the enemy with highest attack instead of every seconds, because it used to be that he would change his target every 7 seconds, but this was quite annoying because he would be fighting someone and wrecking them, dealing loads of damage, and then he would just wander off and attack someone else, and you're like, why can't you just please kill the person you were attacking before? So a nice change, and I think I've seen comments and people complaining about this before. So Battle Beast obviously was buffed in the last patch or the patch before that, and because he used to be pretty garbage, he's definitely a lot stronger now and is better, and with this change I think he's definitely a force to be reckoned with and can be very powerful. The next up is for Cape Invincible, which I think definitely required a buff, and this comes for the third ability, Life Bane, and this was very much needed. He did get buffed again, I think 1 or 2 or 3 patches ago, but it definitely wasn't enough. Increased true damage across all levels, and it obviously gives an example: true damage 30% to 35% at the max level, plus 5% on all levels. So obviously with each level he does true damage, and that has been buffed across all of the levels by 5%, which is good, and is the main sort of part of his kit is his life leech. The reason why it doesn't work that well, and with this buff it's difficult to say, he might actually be a lot stronger now. I guess we can try it out, but previously it's been because he first of all leeches, deals life leech, which takes into consideration the enemy's defense and health and everything like this, and artifacts, totems, gear. Because the life leech is basically debuffed from those, the true damage is then off of the percentage of the life leech, which is then off the percentage of damage which has been reduced by the enemy's defense, if that makes sense. So the true damage actually hasn't been that much. However, with this buff it should make it a lot more noticeable and mean that he doesn't hit like a wet wipe anymore and can actually do some damage, because I think at one point, I think when he launched, he was being out damaged by a shapesmith, which obviously is not what you want. So yeah, a nice buff there, and hopefully it makes a difference for him, because he's genuinely such a cool character and he's just been terrible up until this point. So I guess we'll see, time will tell. Artifacts have had a little bit of change for the Mauler Cell, not the clone, which we have a look here. Where is it? Collection, artifacts. This one. Basically they buffed the life leech across all levels, and at max level it went from 3% to 7.5%, because the life leech doesn't actually do that much in the game. Life leech can be good, but it doesn't actually make that big of a difference as you probably usually think it does. This artifact wasn't I guess doing that well, so they just buffed the life leech on it, which is nice. Totem got changed slightly as well, which is interesting, and that is Conquest's oh wait, no, the Conquest Arm Fragment, that's right, for Blue Suit. Added a cap to the maximum attack increase up to 100% of his attack. This change did not significantly impact current progression. So obviously currently it deals equal to 29% of the enemy's highest attack, and then it's obviously up to now 100% of Invincible's attack. So I think it's just a sort of debuff on the damage from the Totem, because it was so good. I still think it's maybe, as they say, not a significant impact, but it does mean that if you've got it really high level, or if you're a whale or whatever, they won't be able to just instantly wreck you if it's triggered, basically. So a nice change of life there as well. They also improved the technical performance of the GD Ops, which is nice, just made it run a bit better, which is good, and fixed an issue with Thaddeus, which was when charges of synergy reset to 1 when changing preview of active ops and GD Ops. I don't know if I encountered that myself, but it's nice that there's a fixed issue. And finally, there's obviously the reward code, and obviously that's on screen just now, and that is Glob34, and that's GLOB34. And to get that, you basically just click on your level in the top left. As you can see, I'm 272. If you click on that level, at the bottom there's a little option for generate, and that generates your unique code for your profile. And then just below the generate option, there's a option there to use code. If you click there, it autofills the generated code for your account, and then you just put the reward code in, which is GLOB34, and you can get 500 gems, which is very welcome. And yeah, that's the new update. So quite a few things, obviously some changes to existing heroes and artifacts and totems. Obviously new artifacts and totems are probably the biggest thing. The case files are also fun, and a season chapter is fun, even if they've put the stupid restriction in there. And also a new hero launching soon, and a new feature, which is really exciting. So yeah, that pretty much does it for today. A little bit of a longer video today, but if you've still stuck around, I really appreciate you, and hopefully enjoying the game. If you did enjoy the video, then leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Leave a comment down below what you think of the new update, and yeah, I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers, and see you later.